Yo, YouTube, what is up? Radar25 back again with my co-host, Michael Fuentemania.
What up, Mox?
We're back again, guys, with another video, another takeaway, and it's the Wednesday Night Wars. And it's going to be our 4 takeaways from both shows combined into the Wednesday Night Wars. We're going to get into it. I thought both solid episodes of AEW Dynamite and NXT on USA.
Good pro wrestling.
Yeah, good pro wrestling. Enjoyed both shows. A couple things were kind of off in some of them, but for the most part, 2 solid shows. Before we get into the video, guys, I want to remind you guys, drop a like on this video and the previous videos that dropped, like Monday Night Raw. Also, if you're watching, you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys aren't missing one thing that we're doing. Anything dropping, these videos, takeaway videos, live streams, and any other game-related videos that I will drop in the future. And also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, links in the description below. Also pop out on the bottom of the screen. Chat with me on there. And, guys, without further ado, let's jump into the video, our 4 takeaways from the Wednesday Night Wars.
Fling flang.
All right, guys, Dynamite started with, it was kind of odd. For me, it was odd. It was
I liked it.
You liked it. It was Cody Rose sitting in, his Oracle room, watchtower type room. Yep. All these computers in front of him. Looked like the hacker from WWE now, the hacker from all the leaks.
Yeah. I mean, that was that look for sure. I didn't even think about it until you said that.
That's the look he had.
That look.
But he's just talking about all the guys in the TNT tournament, and I don't understand it, but it was.
It was an easy hype video, just basically telling the story of where the tournament's at and his story of him getting there. It was good. I mean, it just locking everything up, telling the story of what's left to come in the tournament and what the story is of Cody Rhodes going on. So I thought it was a cool way to start it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting way to start it. I guess it's like he looked like the Oracle from Batman, as Barbara Gordon, after she in a wheelchair, she does that. Basically, what he looked like.
I mean, I think that's where he was going for sure. Because
I'm not sure who he's relaying that message to himself, basically.
To the AEW world. Yeah. I mean, can't say universe, but the AEW fans and
exactly
the whole thing. But it was cool. I mean, I liked it. It showed his whole story, his build up, where he goes from here, and I thought it was a different way to start the show.
It is what it is. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't understand it, but you liked it. Guys, but the show starts with that. Then it jumps into the first match of the night. On the call for the night is Tony Schiavone and Le Champion, or Le Hole of Ass, Chris Jericho.
Le Hole of Ass.
And it was his boy, Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin in a TNT Championship Tournament quarterfinal. These guys have had a history. They had a match at Revolution. Sammy Guevara lost. He loses a lot of matches. He's really not – I don't know. It's weird because – all right, so this is going to be takeaway number 1, and that is what to do with Sammy Guevara now, because he continues to lose and lose. He takes the falls that they're in tag team matches with Jericho, and if they lose – he's losing a lot.
Later on. He won later on. He did win later on.
Well, I mean, the bubbly bunch, I guess.
Yes,
yeah,
so
but
he did get a win there.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? He continues to lose. So this match, they have very good chemistry together. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, 2 tremendous performers in the ring, athletes and all that stuff. At a point, Sammy Guevara's his boot came off. He's really selling the ankle at certain points. But then, they run across the thing that a lot of people do nowadays. They'll sell it for a certain amount of time, and after that, they kind of forget that it's there, and they'll still pull off these certain types of moves. Yeah. I did like he did that springboard cutter, which he fell a little bit short, but they got it off, or he did it with one leg rather than, using both legs to springboard off. But towards the end of the match, he kind of just didn't sell it as much as he probably should have.
He's young.
Yeah.
They're again, it's the indie feel sometimes with AEW. It's where they're not selling it's an old school mentality, and these guys like to fly around.
Yeah, because if you're gonna sell it so hard, you gotta sell it
the whole match.
The rest of the match.
Yeah.
You can't just at points.
Bret Hart style,
Yeah, you can't just at points seem like it doesn't affect you anymore. You do pull some crazy move up.
Because then you're ruining the story inside the match. You build to his leg or his foot, and then you're building the whole way, and then at the end it's like, all of a sudden he's completely healed. So just whatever. But I feel like since Jericho lost to Moxley, the Inner Circle's been losing a lot. It's been constantly losing. And right before this whole shutdown thing happened, the whole lockdown quarantine, they were. They had the big promo. They were going to destroy everything in AEW. They were destroying everything. They were throwing Moxley. They were through the tables on the walk up set. They had Young Bucks taken out. They were, taking everybody out, and now they've just been losing. Hager's been losing. Sammy's been losing. The other two, Santana and Ortiz, haven't even been on TV.
On TV, yeah.
Unless it's been on the bubbly thing.
Yeah, it's just been basically Sammy Guevara taking all the losses.
Yeah, so he's kind of.
He had the win last week against Pineapple Pete, whatever the hell his name was, Sage D, Shook D, whatever his name was. So yeah, he got a win there, but he doesn't seem as like legitimate when it comes to like a bigger match. Now I felt like he could have been a guy who should have been a guy to win this tournament because it makes sense for him to win. Darby Allin to me doesn't make much sense. Cody doesn't make much sense. For me, the two people that needed to win this tournament, the two choices you had three choices before this thing started. For me, it was Guevara, Spears, or Dustin Rhodes, which we'll get into later. That's our second take. We'll get into that later. That's the main event against Kip Sabian. But those are the three guys I felt like should have won this tournament and made the most sense because I think it would help them the most and give the title a little bit more to it rather than just giving it being more on prestige. Cody. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Cody, it feels like if Cody wins, it feels like he's settling for this because he can't challenge for the world title. Yeah. That's what it feels like. Yeah. And then Archer, a monster, doesn't really need a title. Like TNT champion. First Lance Archer, you know what I'm saying? And
the way he came in, it was all about Cody. It wasn't about the title.
Yeah.
It was about
Cody. It feels like a second thought. Yeah, afterthought towards it. Yeah.
I think this is more just that's why I think it's going to be well, I don't want to ruin it for the end, but definitely it's Cody and Lance are going to to me they're not going to win it. They're going to just make their story and build off and kind of like branch off and do their whole thing together. That's why.
Let's see what happens. But yeah, this match, Darby Allin does get the win. Cool thing in the beginning was that the match started. It took a little while for the match to actually officially start because Guevara attacked Darby Allin. They were brawling outside the ring. He did take out like a really small, legitimate ladder.
Yeah,
and draped it across the little guardrail and the ring. And he did a splash from the top rope onto Darby Allin, and there was no give. There's no give on that ladder whatsoever.
That wasn't one of the gimmick ladders that WWE uses where it just smashes into 1,000 pieces. This was like a real Warner ladder that they were, like the one March Madness when they win and they cut the nets. It was one of those, and that thing did not give. It looked super painful.
Yeah, there was no give there.
That was rough.
But that was the match. Darby Allin gets the win. He advances to semifinals to face Cody Rhodes. I believe that's next week. That match will take place. I think they're going to do both semifinal matches next week. With the final, I assume, the week after that. But yeah, we want to see Sammy G get a little more wins because, after this, which is what happens is it has to do with Sammy G as well. Is Matt Hardy at the Hardy compound? He addresses Chris Jericho, le whole of ass Chris Jericho, and basically he's saying he challenged Chris to show up at the Hardy compound. And he hasn't. And then that Sammy Guevara was talking about him in the Bubbly Bunch last week. So he actually challenged Sammy Guevara to show up. And if he actually does, that's a loss for Sammy Guevara. We all know it's going to be. So it further delegitimizes him as an actual threat to anybody that's in the main event picture or top of the card. Cool thing about this promo, though, was that he brought out the vessel, Matt Hardy, the unkillable Matt, to address Chris Jericho because he said that the broken Matt Hardy with the essence of Damascus is too over the top for Chris Jericho, so he wants to bring it down and bring out the vessel Matt Hardy to talk to Chris Jericho. And Matt Hardy cut a really good promo as Matt Hardy about Chris Jericho, saying Chris Jericho's trying to destroy the pillars of AEW, which are the Bucks, Cody and Kenny, just so he can create chaos and he won't let that happen and all that stuff like that. So very solid thing. It kind of sucks, though, that he's not there in person to confront Jericho about it. And Jericho doesn't really have time on screen to rebuttal any of this. So it is what it is. But it was good from Matt Hardy. But if he does challenge Sammy Guevara, it's a loss for Sammy G.
And it's got the whole Bray Wyatt theme thing going where he can play off two characters.
Yeah, he does.
I think it's got that, so you can do a whole bunch of different things and play around with it. So it's a fun little promo, fun segment.
Yeah. Next thing on the show, squash match, Kenny Omega versus a local competitor, Alan Angels. Georgia guy, another Atlanta guy. A lot of these guys, these enhancement talents are bringing in are from Atlanta. So very quick match. Kenny gets the win. Not much to say here. Kenny's just kind of holding place until I guess the tag team scene can come back.
That's all it was.
Next thing on the show, Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, along with the Best Friends against Jimmy Havoc. And this match was set up last week because there was the match between Chuck Taylor and Kip Sabian. And then we saw Jimmy Havoc interfere. So then Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian are, for some reason, the tag team now.
Yeah,
making this tag team now hurts the tournament that Kip Sabian is in, right? Because you assume that he's going to lose because they want to start this tag team thing, right?
Yeah.
And now he has this feud. Now the feud is set. Jimmy Havoc, Kip Sabian are feuding with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. This match I didn't really like because it was just like Orange Cassidy get his ass beat the entire time. Had a little bit of a flurry, but it wasn't the same as like when he took on Pac at Revolution.
Yeah. Which again, I miss Pac. I haven't seen he started a crew with Penta. Yeah, it's like all these guys are missing. You forget they're even there.
Yeah. But the whole grouping of Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian is like thrown together. It seems like it's just thrown together. It's really doesn't seem much going on.
Again, we know that AEW likes the stables and they just want to put everybody in a stable right now. That's kind of the way it feels. It's late 90s WWE at the moment. So I mean, it's okay. It's not terrible, but I don't love the
But the match itself, Orange Cassidy does get the win with a quick crucifix kind of roll up. But it really felt like a squash match the entire time until like a small spurt at the end. But you didn't really feel that same like fire that he had against that match against Pac. So I really wasn't enjoying it. But setting up for that feud of the two tag teams. Next thing on the show was Wardlow taking on a local competitor, Lee Johnson, another guy from Atlanta, Georgia.
Lee Johnson, boy.
This was it was a squash match, but really good to see Wardlow dominate because you haven't seen him since MJF has been off TV.
We saw MJF earlier, too. He cut a
promo right before this.
He has an injury.
Yeah, he has like a hangnail injury going severe. So it was a very heel promo, very douchebag promo from him. Good on him.
In front of a huge house somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Wardlow obviously squashes the guy, gets the win, but it's good to see him show the strength and athleticism. It kind of hypes you up to want to see him go against Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk.
Yeah, later on, that's two monsters. Cool. Yeah, but that's a build.
That's a build. So, one of them has to be babyface too, and you can't do two heels.
Yeah, but it's a whole build.
He reminds me a lot, Wardlow, of a Brian Cage. He's just not as athletic and as muscular as Brian Cage, but he's a massive dude, and they have a similar look to them. But good to see what they do with him after this. He's just destroying everybody. Next thing on the show, another Exalted One Dark Order promo.
This one was good. I liked it.
Yeah. So it was a guy sitting at his desk looking at his computer. I believe he's looking at an article about himself. It says Heisman Trophy
whatever.
Contender, tears his knee or his career's over. And then he goes on the Dark Order website, joins them. Here comes Brodie Lee, talks to him. And before that, he has to write like a letter to the Dark Order as to why he wants to join or what he's in the situation he's in. And the first thing he writes is like, I had the whole world in my hands, which is obviously a play on the Wyatt family.
F.U. Wyatt family there from AEW.
So he meets up with Brodie Lee, and Brodie Lee basically recruits him to the Dark Order. And then here comes the match. Brodie Lee in action against, I believe the name is Justin Law. Yeah, Justin Law is the name.
Justin Law from Marietta, Georgia. Gainesville, Georgia.
Gainesville, Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, from AJ Styles country.
Yeah, Gainesville, Georgia. Squash match. He beat him up, destroyed him. But this is kind of setting up because Marco Stunt was in the crowd in the side.
Marco was scared the whole match.
Yeah, he was kind of looking at him a lot, giving him a lot of looks. So it sets up for next week. It is Marco Stunt versus Brodie Lee, which is going to be a slaughter. Should be a lot of fun to watch that.
Poor Marco Stunt just being thrown there with the Wolves.
Biggest guys,
all the biggest guys. Yep.
Yeah. Next thing on the show, guys, and it's takeaway number 2, and it is the natural Dustin Rhodes versus Kip Sabian, Superbad Kip Sabian in the quarterfinals of the TNT tournament. I obviously played to this earlier. The thing behind this, Dustin Rhodes says if he doesn't win this match, he's retiring, which to me, I don't know why this random match, no crowd. Like, anybody think that he's actually going to retire in a situation like this? Like, really?
And like the fact that it's like, hey, this is a legend. I mean, legend, Dustin Rhodes, been doing it for 30, 40 years. And you're just going to build with no build up, just day of, like a small promo with him and Cody on a voicemail. That this is like, I'm making this my last match if I lose. Like, why? Like, it doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't add to the match. You're in a tournament. That's the special attraction right there. Why we have to add this stupid stipulation to it that came out of left field? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't hold towards it because you never felt like Kip Sabian was going to win. If anything, you knew Kip Sabian was going to lose.
Plus, lose now,
especially with the tag team set up beforehand, you knew he was going to lose this. This
made no way Dustin Rhodes is going to lose. His last match is going to be in front of nobody. All right, 8 wrestlers that were in a crowd. Like, that's not the way his career is going to end. It doesn't make any sense. So
Dustin Rhodes does get the win here. But my thing is, okay, I didn't like the whole stupid, he's going to retire if he loses this match. For what reason, I don't know. But it kind of feels like if he loses to Kip Sabian, that kind of hurt. It shits on Sabian. Like, I got to retire because I lost to Kip Sabian, basically. Yeah, that's what it felt like, right?
Yeah.
So, but I was one of the guys that said that would be nice to win the tournament, win the title, because TNT and AEW, but TNT and WCW are so synonymous, Turner and WCW. And, Dustin Rhodes, from majority of his career, is WCW. You know, he's the natural Dustin. He's using the natural moniker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about most of his career, but the start of his
career. Yeah. I'm saying, but like, you know,
he's more known as Goldust.
He's more known as Goldust, yes. But in this aspect, TNT, it's like a kind of offshoot of WCW a little bit, because it just feels Atlanta-based
stuff. It becomes a circle.
Yeah. So, and then the story could be he's 51 years old. He's at the end of his career. He's going for the one last title that he's going to win, one last run. And you could build a story around this and him go all the way to win the TNT champion, become the first TNT champion. I think it'd be a good story. Yeah, a little bit of a run because it's the end of his career. He's been around for such a long time. And now he's probably working better than he ever has, maybe.
I think he is. I mean, he's doing stuff that he never used to do, yeah.
I mean, his finisher right now is the Canadian Destroyer, which is insane.
Yeah,
like, at 51 years old.
At 51 years old.
Yeah. So, you know, that could have been the story that he's trying to make his last run. You know, he wins this title. He goes on a little bit of a run, loses it in a retirement match, and just loses it. Maybe he gets retired by Cody in the end.
Yeah, I think that'd be a beautiful way to end it. Maybe in the Vegas show, if that ever happens, or whatever, or in the next big show. But Cody and Dustin will add that prestige to the title already
because he adds a lot of like history. Behind the title, like he wins it. Yeah. But even though Cody
he's a Rhodes.
Cody has the lineage as well, but the fact that it's Dustin. He's been around such a long time with WCW and all that, so it's like, you know, that would have been.
It
cool.
Makes sense. Like
it makes sense.
It makes more sense than like a Sammy winning it, just because this is a new belt and you want that whole like it's in me a little more. And if it goes to a guy that's more established, more national and global, you know, people know who he is. So it adds to it all. So I think Dustin would be a great choice, and it'd be a fun little last, you know, hurrah for Dustin Rhodes if he wants it. I mean, he's 51; he can still go better than most guys. So, you know, if he wants it to be the end.
Well, it'll be cool if they did that, like I said. But Dustin Rhodes will take on Lance Archer next week in the semifinals. So we could have brother versus brother, or we could have Archer versus Cody, or we could have Dustin versus Darby Allin. Let's see what happens next week. The semifinals are going to happen. That's AEW, guys. Dynamite. 2 takeaways from the show. So we're going to jump right now into NXT. Okay, guys, so NXT started off, you know, we thought it was going to be Velveteen Dream versus Finn Balor. Super excited for that matchup.
Yep, very excited.
Yeah, but it seems like something happened that Finn Balor's not there, or they just couldn't do the match for whatever reason. Travel, maybe. I'm not sure.
The backstage area in NXT is easily becoming the most dangerous place on the planet. Like, people getting abducted in the parking lot. People just getting hurt in the back, attacked in the back. Now we got guys going missing, aliens that must have abducted them. Who knows?
But who knows right now? Backstage is just kind of crazy.
It's like the most dangerous place on earth. It's crazy.
Velveteen Dream comes to cut out a promo about Finn Balor, and then boom, Undisputed Era music hits. And we've been talking the past 2 weeks about how we just want Adam Cole to show up on TV and title his video pre-tape in his backyard.
Yeah, like we're so sick of that already.
And he shows up. Here he comes out, and he says that Finn Balor, or like he says that between Finn Balor and Velveteen Dream, like this fight is not going to be none of these guys, no matter who wins, deserves to be number one contender for the NXT Championship. But good to see that Finn Balor, since he's not doing the Walter thing right now, he may be inserted a little bit into the title picture for NXT.
Yeah, which is a great thing.
Yeah, so they attack Velveteen Dream in the ring. The rest of the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, and here comes Keith Lee for the save. Which is pretty cool, and they fight off the Undisputed Era, and sets up a tag team match for later on in the show of Velveteen Dream, Keith Lee versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. So that's the main event of the night.
But there was a little bit of a warning. I don't know if anybody saw this, but in the left corner of your screen, Mr. Dexter Lumis in his full rapist look, where he's just lights flashing on him, he's looking all perverted, just looking at everybody, and quietly, no one notices him. Really creepy. Yeah, I thought it was fun.
So this is when you said this is when they fended off the Undisputed Era, and like Velveteen Dream was hanging over the rope.
As the heels of Undisputed Era are walking back, talking shit, they pan out a little bit, and Dexter Lumis in the corner, light on, and everything just that
NXT's resident molester was in sight, and he will play a role later on in the show. All right, so the first match of the show, which was Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Fuck this match, because the most important thing of all this was that Shotzi Blackheart came out in a tank, which we've been asking for the past couple of weeks. Why is she not coming out with a tank? If she's going to be on TV, she needs to come out with a tank. She came out and she crashed that bitch into the ring steps.
Love that tank. That is one of the best. That's one of the best things NXT's ever done.
Best things.
I said it here. I said it here. Yeah. I don't care what he says to me. That's the greatest thing. One of the greatest things NXT's ever done.
Match is what it is. Nobody cares. It's about the tank. It's what we care about. But Gonzalez and Knox did get the win. I mean, Gonzalez and Kai got the win over Knox and Blackheart. Whatever.
Did the job, but whatever.
Did the job. As long as she came out in the tank every week, she needs to come out in the tank. Okay, guys. Next thing on the show, and it's takeaway number 1 of NXT and number 3 of the Wednesday Night Wars, and that is Jake Atlas versus Drake Maverick in the interim cruiserweight title tournament. Now, this is a takeaway because Drake Maverick just got released last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he went on emotional. Yeah, the emotional farewell on social media, and they showed it on NXT TV and played into the fact that he got released, and this is his last shot. And he's thanking WWE for letting him still compete in the interim cruiserweight tournament. So this is really interesting. And Jake Atlas, he is what he
does nothing for me.
He does nothing for me. He has no character. He's just a guy.
As soon as he feels like just a normal dude that terribly, like he's trying to do the whole Jericho jacket thing, and he just doesn't.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. Now they did a small video package of him introducing him or whatever, talking about it, and he says that he's breaking barriers. Now, what barriers we don't know. Name them because it gives him something to his character. He's just a guy right now, right?
Like what barriers are you breaking?
Now, he has a really okay. So this is a solid match, right? Solid match, and it's interesting because they acknowledge that they released Maverick, right? For it is what it is. What the match was, solid. I really like. Jake Atlas gets the win here, and I really like his top rope cartwheel turn
cartwheel
DDT
punch off thing. Yeah.
He's like a cartwheel and turns to a DDT, which is pretty sick move. Cool move by him. He does get the win. He cut a all over the place promo at the end. They asked him, "How did you feel about the win?" And he was like, he started calling Drake's name, and then Drake didn't acknowledge him, and he was like, "Oh man, I was rooting for him, or I feel so bad." And then he was like, "It was all over the place." He's talking about
he was playing babyface 80s, like he was Ricky Steamboat babyface. That's what he was trying to play. Mm-hmm. This sentimental. He felt bad for he had a win, but he felt bad for this guy's life.
But you say I was rooting for him. If you were rooting for him, you would let him win.
Yeah, I know. So it's like you're like again, he's playing that wimpy like babyface that nobody ever likes, or that was cool maybe in 1983, but they tried it with Rocky Maivia. No one really cares. The clean cut. Like, I'm breaking barriers. I'm doing this. Great. I want to Drake. But back to Drake.
Yeah.
I think Drake may have that video may have worked himself back into the company's graces because it was such an emotional video and it really hit on the internet with a lot of the fans, a lot of other wrestlers from all companies and stuff like that. So I think it added a depth to his character, and he has a really good chance here to maybe not keep his job. I mean, maybe he does win the Cruiserweight Championship and keeps his job for now. But for sure, even if he loses, I think in the long run, Drake could come back to the company pretty quickly.
Now you're saying that now the rumor is on Raw that Sarah Logan might be returning because a lot of people went to bat for her. Yeah. And that's the rumor online. Now with Drake, this is super, super interesting because he loses right here, right? But he still has 2 more matches to go, and he can still.
It's a round robin.
He can still make a move. This would be super, super interesting and intriguing if he were to win this tournament, or at least go on a hell of a run because it's such a good story. Because he actually supposedly is fighting for his job,
and it's a tournament and it's cool and everything, but nobody gives a shit about the Cruiserweight Championship, if we're being honest.
Yeah, nobody really cares. Yeah.
And this will add a great human, realistic, reality-based storyline that's taking that beautiful line of reality and wrestling and kind of mixing it together and just making you care about this. Yeah. Really, we don't really care about title or pointless title.
Now, I don't know when these tapings are taking place. It seems to me like they still have him around.
Well, it's definitely after the video because they had the video package.
Yeah, I mean, they could have edited that in, though. But, I don't know. But the way they played it out, you're right. The way they played it up afterwards.
Because even Alice doing his
you're right.
Steamboat
so they do still have him there. They probably had an agreement. Okay, you just be around for the next, 3 shows, and that's it. Yeah. But this would be smart on WWE's part to run with this and give him a run that people can get behind. You never know. Nobody's there in the crowd. This will help with the crowd. But if the crowd was there, it would help. But you could maybe do it like over social media. Maybe people start like
keep
cheering for this guy because he seems like a likable dude and he's funny. He always seemed to me like one of those guys who would stick around the company for a while, like a Heath Slater, that doesn't really do a whole lot, but he's a good character, and he's a guy who's down to do whatever they ask him to do.
But I think he's like a better character than Heath Slater and those guys are.
But on top of that,
he was always in it. I mean, even when he was running around with his wife and like the 24/7 championship, that stuff is the stuff that he was doing online.
But also, what he brings too is that he's small in stature, right? He could be a very good manager who can bump around. Yeah, because he's good. He's solid in the ring. Yeah, like that. Or Jim Cornette type, an annoying son of a bitch, and people try to get their hands on him. He could be a foil to a good baby face, and he's small, but he could take those bumps eventually because he's actually a wrestler. Yeah. So it could help. But let's see what they do. I mean, this would be. I think this would be smart. If they released him, or it's a kayfabe releasing, and they're just like, we're gonna say we're releasing while everybody else. You're just gonna stick around and make a run in this tournament.
Or it could have been a real releasing, and just like him doing that video, kind of like, gave WWE like, well, this really got over. So if he continues this, and him losing and being one loss away from his like the end of his career or whatever, like it adds to the whole storyline. Like he only has one more loss in him, or he's done. So that adds to the story. Yeah. I think it's good. I think if he plays his cards right, the company plays their cards right, they can make something really fun out of this kind of meaningless tournament. Because it really is, besides putting some guys over, it's really not doing anything for anybody. Yeah. At least to me, anyway.
Yeah. So let's see what they do with Drake Maverick and this whole tournament going on. Next thing on the show was another match in the tournament. It was Kushida versus Tony Nese. Very solid match. Really do enjoy Kushida in the ring. Tremendous talent.
One of the best entrances in all of wrestling.
Yeah, the Marty McFly, the time splitter entrance that he has. Now, Kushida gets the win. Obvious, he should win. The only two people I see that could win this tournament is Kushida, obviously because he's head and heels above everybody else in the tournament in terms of talent and everything like that. And maybe he's finally somebody that could a Japanese guy. Japanese guys, the Japanese wrestlers tend to flourish in NXT rather than on the main roster. So this could help him, and I think I think he's actually too big for the tournament, but he's only been around in NXT for a little bit. Now, I think it's either him or Drake Maverick. Anybody else, I don't really think it has an impact to it.
And you can also have this as a final. I don't know how the whole route, but you can make that up with however you want, like how the seeds go. But no, I think that would be a great final. Them two, you have Kushida like the.
I don't think it can be the final. I think they're in the same group. No? I think they're in the same group. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's wrestling. You don't have to. You can see that differently. Yeah. Whatever. You're in control of storyline, please. No, I think it would be a great ending to this tournament if it's them two in the final. Yeah, and cool. Kushida wins it. Would still be good, and you get that sentimental like, damn, he almost had it, like the underdog story where he could have got it, but he just at the end he was just that short.
I mean, I feel like they're trying to do this tournament like if it was the Cruiserweight Classic, which is not gonna have the same emotion behind it.
No, because we've seen it already.
You've seen how that worked out with guys like all those good guys that they had in TJ Perkins. Kota Ibushi was in it. Zack Sabre Jr. Cedric Alexander was made in that tournament. Gargano and Ciampa, all those guys like that.
Yeah, all those guys.
But yeah, we want to see the same thing. But okay, guys, next thing on the show is Mia Yim versus Jessie Kamiya. Whatever, squash match, pretty much. Yep. Mia Yim gets the win. Here comes Charlotte Flair walking on the ramp. And basically just, says like, I called you out. I give you the first shot. Are you willing to accept? And she says, yeah, I want to accept, all stuff like that. But then Charlotte kind of throws a backhanded compliment towards Mia Yim, kind of setting up whatever that's going to happen. So we'll see when that match takes place.
Because we can make you a hell of a hand. Ooh,
yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to be a hell of a hand. They want to be the star.
Now, next thing on the show, guys, was Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus the debuting Hijo del Fantasma. Coming from Mexico. This is his debut. This was a good match. I do like Jack Gallagher's new persona because the other one was funny and cool with the umbrella, but you can only run so long with it, right? This is a pretty cool look.
It's a comedy gag.
Yeah, he looks a little more serious. I like the weird like coat sash thing that he wears when he comes on in the thing. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that he has like those red boots with the kick pads and that arm sleeve because he kind of looks like Finn Balor a little bit. That's kind of Finn Balor's look, right?
Like a smaller, less tan version.
Yeah, it just and his trunks are like totally off from everything else he's wearing. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but I do like it. The big tattoo on his chest is fine, gives him a different look.
And they added like the whole like they were taking his new character and his old character where he said, "I'm still a gentleman, but when you see these tattoos, it's my armor, it's my war paint." So then he's like he's ready for battle. So I think that's cool.
You know, he Fantasma. Very good luchador, comes in a lot of hype and stuff like that. He gets the win here in his first match in NXT. What happens afterwards is the same Escalade that shows up and tries to abduct everybody. I think it was Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wild. It's a bunch of guys in luchador masks trying to abduct him. They try to get Il Fantasma, but
he ain't playing that shit.
He ain't playing that shit because he says he's from Mexico. Obviously, in Mexico, the cartels like to kidnap people all the time. He's able to defend himself because he's probably been in a situation before.
Soy de Mexico.
He kept saying that. Yeah, he's like, ¿qué son esta gente? Soy de Mexico, right? He's saying that. Obviously, they try to abduct people all the time over there, so he's accustomed to that type of shit, and he's able to defend himself. He fights them off. Who these guys are, I don't know. Crazy luchador, smuggling, black market crew. We're going to find out eventually. But that's what happens. Guys, next thing on the show is the main event, and it is takeaway number 2 of the night because of Dexter Lumis. Now, the match is supposed to be Keith Lee, Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. The match starts that way. But during the match, there's a brawling on the outside. Here comes Damian Priest, who cut a video earlier in the show talking about he's going to take down Keith Lee for the North American title. He hits Keith Lee in the throat with the nightstick that he likes to carry around now. Keith Lee was unable to compete. They went to commercial. They came back. It was a 2-on-1 Velveteen versus Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. Then out of nowhere, they pan to the corner, the empty corner, and there's Dexter Lumis, the resident molester of NXT, standing there in the corner.
Always looming and lurking. Yeah. Dexter.
And he comes in for the hot tag. So he comes in and clears house. He's taking on both Cole and Strong together. And here comes Bobby Fish, Bobby Fish on the outside. And Lumis does a tope on the outside and takes down both Strong and Fish. Here comes Velveteen Dream with the Purple Rainmaker elbow drop off the top rope, and he pins the NXT champion Adam Cole. So Dexter Lumis inserted himself into the match, and very funny stare down at the end where Velveteen Dream is celebrating in the ring, posing, and Lumis is at the bottom of the apron on the outside, and all you see in the camera is just from his chin up and him just staring at Velveteen. Creepy.
Why he's such a creep, man?
Oh my god, dude! I'm liking this character so much each week that I see him because there's so much entertaining shit that you could do with this.
And like, I love how he's just creeping in all corners of the arena. Like, just I want
him to start creeping in the guy's locker room, like some real weird shit. I want that shit to go down because it's entertaining, it's funny. And
he does a good job of that stare.
You don't really know if he's like the serial killer, or a sex fiend, or a molester, a rapist. You don't know what he is because he comes off as all those types of things.
A sexual deviant.
And I like the stuff where he's just there out of nowhere in the corner, chilling somewhere, and standing and the stare.
It's good
guy does a really good job. Never seen the guy before. Him now.
Don't know who he is, where he came from.
But the stare, he's got that down packed. Whoever came up with this gimmick is a genius and if they work it the right way, it could be super, super popular and entertaining on TV.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really good.
And now let's see what happens with Lumis with this, because he literally took down Cole and Strong by himself.
Yeah, he did a tope off the side. Yeah,
he came in with a hot tag, and he was running on all cylinders, firing all cylinders at that point. So let's see what happens. He was inserted himself into the main event randomly like that, and took the place of Keith Lee after Keith Lee got hurt. So, pretty solid episode of NXT. Those are our 2 takeaways from this show. 4 takeaways overall.
Actually, we forgot one thing I'm gonna remind you on. There was an awesome little promo vignette with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano.
How did I forget about that? Yeah.
You forgot about that because you're a douche.
Yeah.
So what it was pretty cool because it was in their home, and you kind of felt where these 2 characters were going. Gargano, for some reason, had a hoodie that looked like Wolverine slashed it. Had 3 scars on it, no idea why. And did you notice there was a cup in the middle of his cup
on the middle of the dinner table and like a glass case? Yes, that was.
It was like the centerpiece of his dinner table.
But basically, they're playing like the psycho couple. That's what it came off, because they would be them talking normally, and then when they're gonna turn the switch, turn it kind of psycho.
You get like
the whole camera would change black and white, and it would kind of like distort everything. Yeah, so they're playing the psycho.
And Candice LeRae has a new look. She has purple hair, purple lipstick.
Yeah.
And they said their goal is to work together, be the power couple of NXT.
And reign over NXT, yeah.
And reign over it. He's the champ, and she's a women's champion. That's where they're going, and it should be fun. It should be fun. And Gargano is a monster in the ring. She's Miss Wrestling. He's Mr. Wrestling. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Candice LeRae versus Charlotte should be a good little feud.
If that does happen,
I'll be excited for that.
Yeah, I'll be excited for that. Yeah, no sighting, Killer Cross sighting, or Karrion Cross sighting, and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, going into Karrion Cross, we shit on that last week. The name to this week, I found out I heard it's supposedly his idea, and he has a version of that name tattooed somewhere on his body. But it means a lot of different things. I think Karrion is like the flesh of a dying animal. Also, in Greek mythology, it is somebody that worked with Hades that would carry the souls and take them away. So that's a very, very dark meaning behind it.
So he's Hades' lackey? All right.
I don't know. It's like a soul taker, I guess, right? It's like Godfather, soul taker.
Killer Cross is probably a little better.
But they can't use Killer for obvious reasons. I guess they can't really market it. But Karrion Cross, it does have some type of meaning behind it. So it makes it a little bit more bearable. But we didn't see them this week. That's pretty much it for NXT Wednesday Night Wars. 4 takeaways. Those were 4 takeaways from both shows. 2 from each. And, both solid shows. The shit that sucked. This is going to be a tough one. But I'm going to say the shit that sucked was calling Dustin Rhodes' match a retirement match.
I think that was
had no effect. It was random. It was thrown out there. And it had no point that anybody think he was actually going to retire. Yeah.
AEW's over the last few weeks has had a couple of calls where you're like, what are they doing? It kind of feels like they're just this is where sometimes we hate on WWE, but they kind of have like some of those things like checked, locked, and kind of always have a sort of a plan. Sometimes they fuck up like anything else, but there isn't that person that like, hey, this makes no sense. Let's not do that. Let's say that for some other time.
Yeah. We've had a couple of misses here and there in the past couple of weeks, but you give them a pass because of the situation at hand. So they're kind of scrambling. Both companies are scrambling to get these shows out and get storylines kind of wrapped up or new ones started and everything like that. So they're just kind of throwing together with the pieces they got. Yeah, with the pieces.
It's the only sport we can watch. So
So it is what it is. That's the video for today. 4 takeaways from the Wednesday Night Wars. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you guys later. Remember, if it doesn't work for you, brother, do not do the job.
Later, Marks.